What's up, guys? How's your con going so far? Who have you met? Who's been your favorite so far?
It's my no way home.
Your no way homie.
You won 3 rounds of what? Amazing! Oh my god. They once tried to put me up in a trivia contest against the Superman, so I was like, no. They'll beat me. I'll look bad.
Are the Sudarsos coming?
Oh, Yoshi, no. Peter, maybe.
Well, you guys, the best are here, so. Mine is Christina. She's been great too. She's my favorite.
Meghan, you might just.
You know what? I'm just gonna shut up. It's fine.
I'm texting them.
How's everyone doing?
Yeah, welcome back to Morphicon, everybody, right? That's great. Just like it was yesterday. 4 years ago. We hear it.
So close. Hasbro really is like the word set of this.
Meghan, you're at power.
What?
No. Hasbro's great. They hired me to write the comic books. That's true.
Hey,
Oh, you're right.
and let's make great comments, man.
Yeah, we'll get started, and if the others show up, they show up, I think.
They'll be super cool, and we'll give them a big, like, embarrassing
Round of applause when they are. Yeah, of course. Everybody's on the same page. Cool. Hi guys, I'm Michael. I was not on Power Rangers HyperForce. I'm just running this today. Do you
I like your shirt.
Thank you. Yep. Wore it especially. Brought it especially, in fact. Would you guys like to introduce yourself? Maybe we can start at the other end.
Hi, my name is Andre. I am playing Eddie Banks, the Blue Ranger on Power Rangers HyperForce. I also do Black Nerd comedy on the YouTubes and everything. I'm the reason that some of you say, "Someone born the first day of Power Rangers."
That was an experience.
My name is Meghan Camarena, and I play Chloe Ashford, who is HyperForce Pink. Burrito-loving, good time. Yeah, the battleizer, right? I am also a co-writer for Radiant Pink, which is in the Radiant Black universe. Basically taking all of that amazing Chloe energy and channeling it into a character that is similar to myself personally. But I'm also Strawberry 17 online, and Strawberry 17 plays on Twitch.
Hi guys, I was behind the scenes on Power Rangers HyperForce. My name is Flores. I was working at Saban Brands at the time and helped create and produce the series along with Hyper RPG and these lovely people here. Come here, come on. We said you
hanging out in the bathroom.
We didn't get to come through the secret Power Ranger entrance.
Hello. Don't get up for me, Pink Ranger. It's fine.
So anyways, I'm not with Hasbro anymore, but I am still working, and I write myself now. I'm writing the Boom Power Rangers comic books, and after writing is done, I write a series called The Dead Lucky, which I hope you pick up in comic books. It's called The Dead Lucky.
We're writing Radiant Pink, the miniseries, together. So there's a little bit, she reins me in when I'm like, okay, I want to do this, and that, and then...
And I'm like, okay, but let's find narrative reasons for all of that. Peter, do you want to introduce yourself, and then Polly?
Yeah, I'd love to. Hey guys, thanks so much for being here. Seriously. I really appreciate your guys' support. HyperForce is something that's very, very dear to my heart. So thank you for being here. I play HyperForce Red. I also play Ninja Steel Blue. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here. Thank you, guys.
What's happening? I'm Jason David Frank. I'm the loser ranger. What's up, I'm Polly? HyperForce Yellow.
It's been very nearly 5 years since the first episode of Power Rangers HyperForce aired. Yeah, you'll feel old now, huh? Yeah. To start, I want to go back to before the series started. For those of you who are in the cast, what do you remember about being approached for the project? Did you have like RPG experience? Was there any hesitation going in about doing this sort of thing?
I wanted to be yellow.
Really?
I did. We talked about
She
it.
didn't like pink. She thought she didn't like pink as a color.
It's so perfect now.
I guess it grew on me. I was a big fan of Trini growing up. I loved her. I thought she was so badass and broke the stereotypes of like what we would see in the 90s for women in television. Also, I am white facing, but I live in a brown household. I'm half Hispanic, and I've only known like my Mexican side. I didn't have any family, so I was always around my Hispanic relatives. So it was nice to see a person of color with a superhero on the screen. So I was like, can I be yellow? And Peter was like, oh,
That's right, I do remember
Polly's
that.
gonna be yellow.
It's like the worst character to put a big man in. Worst color. How about black and white stripes? Horizontal.
Peter Bush was like, I really think you could be a really great pink. Maybe just try it out. It might be awesome. I had never done any RPG stuff prior.
Go me.
Yeah, you really sold me on it because I couldn't do the show. I was too old to do the show, first of all. But I mean, I'm a huge Power Ranger fan and have been since I was a kid. So yeah, Peter was like, just come in. Maybe you can make it your own, and I definitely did. And now I love pink, so that was some character development for me on my personal journey.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you said yes. Because I can't imagine the show without her as pink, you know?
Aww.
But I almost picked black as well. Because when we were talking about this, we were talking about all the different Zords. And the choice was Red Lion, which is like iconic.
Everything's right.
Yeah. But the other option was Black Cerberus.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like how many times are you gonna get to have a Cerberus as a Zord, you know? And but I ended up going with that.
So was that was the arrangement? Was you guys had designed the Rangers and the Zords, or you sort of had plans?
So it was all in production. So it's actually a funny story. Peter and Yoshi came up to me. Like, hey, we want to do an RPG show with Power Rangers. I'm like, we're doing one already.
Yeah, it worked out perfectly.
But yeah, I was like, but you can be in ours. So we had very specific ideas of who we wanted. And so then we knew immediately we wanted Polly. Because we wanted Polly to be a ranger. We knew we wanted Andre. We wanted somebody that was knowledgeable of the series, especially because HyperForce is about all the different series, and so we needed a ranger that knew everything. And Andre, had always been incredibly professional and fun to work with, and he was just a funny guy.
Library.
Yeah, and we just knew he'd be a perfect Blue Ranger.
And I grew up with them in blue. Like everyone was all like, I want to pick those colors. As soon as they were like, give me a ranger, I was like, it's blue. I know.
And then we wanted, we hadn't had an Asian American Red Ranger before, so we wanted Peter to be our Red Ranger.
I had an audition. She was like, I don't know, she was chops. I went
You
in.
don't have to audition.
Yeah, I think you really
Let's do that.
started watching it the other day actually, and like all the ways that like the narrative actually split off. And a lot of it was because he just wanted to screw around. Like a lot of the things that we had, like the burritos.
And that's all great for me, by the way.
I was so hungry. Every single time we filmed, it was right at dinner time, so I would just be thinking about food the entire time.
And they would give us burritos.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
Paul, I wanted to ask, you've been in more episodes of Power Rangers than I think any other actor.
Correct.
But obviously not as a Power Ranger. What was it like being asked to step up?
Well, I mean, first of all, pretty hot and thick is a fantastic opportunity to see a franchise that usually is about very fit people kind of accept somebody with a different body morphology. So, in the same sense, just like Peter, kind of getting to be that first, I'm really psyched to have had the opportunity to play Jack D. Thomas and to have that kind of bigness be part of the character, but not something that is joked about or dwelled upon. You know, it's just a part of the world. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. And really, HyperForce has definitely put me into you ain't never gonna pass me as the highest number of episodes. It is canon, so too late.
How Legacy Wars, his character model in the game is fantastic.
If you like HyperForce, come by our booth. I made some minifigures of Jack. Listen, Flores, Andre, Meghan,
I'm coming.
Peter, you get free shit with me.
Character creation. Obviously, you guys talked a little bit about colors. Did you name your characters? Did you have other names that you were considering? Was there anything about them that changed last minute or late in the game?
Chloe was always going to be Chloe. I'm a big Life is Strange fan, and I was kind of coming into my own realizing something I had already known about myself, and that was like my sexuality, and I wanted Chloe to be bi. It was so crazy because the show really helped me kind of step into that before I made that public announcement that I'm pansexual. So, man, Power Rangers is so good. HyperForce really was so cute. Like a healing chapter.
And Malika and Zach weren't here. Like, this wouldn't exist without them. They worked so hard for this show, and Malika especially worked so hard on like the Zords. Like, she came up with the Zords and the theme, and I think she worked with all of you guys on creating the characters. Right?
She did, yeah. She kind of gave me free reign now, because
Oh, that's alluring.
I know.
That's why we have a lot of chaotic things in the show.
Between myself and Christina.
Oh my goodness.
You remember the moment where Christina's like, I want to do a backflip, and then like she goes and rolls to do a backflip, and then Malika's like, you did a backflip. Okay, next person.
Yeah, just remember she came to me and said, I want to die.
That was twisty.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of a live show. You know, it's like I love that the characters kind of grew into themselves. We didn't have like I think the format. She always like everybody did. Malika, Zach, Melissa, all guided us towards what they thought the characters would be, and we at least got to have the free reins of where we wanted it to go. You know, so it was a guided journey on how to be a hero. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was interesting because it was one of those things where we had to have a lot of faith in who we cast, which is wild. And then we cast Meghan because I didn't know her at all. She turned to be this chaos creation. She's now like one of my closest friends in the world. But yeah, we had to have a lot of faith in the process because this is a branded thing. Like, we are giving our permission for this thing to happen. We paid money for this thing to happen, but it's also live and semi-unscripted. So we had an A, B, and C, and permanent and live stream, so you can take anything back. So there had to be a lot of trust in energy and also the actors, and that's actually why we cast the way we did, because we figured the people that we cast, like Ollie, like Andre, like Peter, and Christina and Meghan, respected the franchise enough that they could be crazy and wild and have their burrito times and cut each other's hands off and all that fun stuff. But at the end of the day, what I really was impressed was that they did truly act like rangers. Like they truly would make the rangerly decisions to the point where they would surprise us. There was a moment in the episode that we were at HyperForce, I think. Or I don't know if it was HyperForce or no, SPD, where a bunch of people were supposed to die, and they were like, no, it's not going to happen. And we literally just had to change the narrative and make them all survive because the Rangers would not allow them to die. And I thought that was really cool. It like really spoke to me that they truly embraced what it meant to be a Ranger.
Yeah, I mean, you guys role played, some of you, right? You just killed everything. We couldn't do that, and Andre wouldn't let us.
Well, I mean, like, I could do that.
She was actually the strongest. Like, oh my goodness.
I was OP.
All that stuff.
Again, really by chance, Malika said, I want to give one of them a battleizer, and they rolled for it.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
But I actually do want to add on to that and say that that's why it was pretty amazing. It's like we didn't know how to do any of the Ranger stuff, but going through it, we learned how to think like a Ranger. And after the episode, we learned how to be like, okay, you know what? Actually, in this situation, these characters are just in the game. But if you jump into the game, if you're really role playing, they're real. What would I really do in that situation? You know?
I remember especially you, like the journey of what it means to be the Red Ranger.
Oh my
like, I know that it was frustrating sometimes for you. Like, I don't know what that means.
It's
and like,
scary.
You have to figure it out.
Dude, like I mean, to be a leader, nobody gives you a real format on how to be a leader. Nobody gives you a format on how to be a hero. You know, it's like going from a civilian and suddenly now being in charge of like people's safety and thinking about that stuff. You have to step into it. Like,
Yeah, and your entire team.
Yeah.
And what they're going through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Peter, you, I believe, named Marv after one of your Sentai favorites.
Who is here?
Have you had the chance to meet him yet?
No. Yeah. Have you guys? Yeah. I saw some of you guys brought pictures with them too. It was sick. Yeah.
You know, there's a little bit of skull in Jack D. Thomas because I named the character after Jason Narvy's son, Jack. And the middle initial D was initially supposed to be Deal Good because that was my D&D character when I was in 8th grade. And they were like, Deal Good with an E on the end, it's a little British.
Is there a chance that he's his son?
Exactly, Jack. Jack is Jack.
He is.
Jack is Jason Narvy's son, yeah.
Are we bringing that into the canon right now? No, okay.
Well, one of my favorite TV shows was Family Matters. And one of my other favorite TV shows was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And Eddie Winslow was in Family Matters. And the Banks family was in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Boom, done.
So Eddie gets his money. The hardest part was just coming up with the name, so I only gave the Ranger like 20 names. Because first off, to find a name that a Ranger hasn't used in almost 30 years, it's like hard to find one. So I gave it to
Our world every 2 years.
yeah, so she showed up the name, she picked Eddie, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go with the last name.
What do you guys remember about recording? Like you were live on air. What were those nights like? Right? Going to the studio and just hanging out and playing a game with your friends, knowing that thousands of people were watching you.
I like thinking about it because it was like, I don't think I've ever had something like that before. It felt like a family, and during that time I wasn't talking to my family. That was something I looked forward to every single week. And when we ended, it felt like there was a massive hole in my heart because I was like, damn, I miss these
Yeah,
guys.
we were just like living every day, and it's like we had to not be existing.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal, but I looked forward it was like an honor and a privilege to be a ranger alongside you.
I mean, it was something really special because for me personally, it was twofold. Like, one, I knew I was never going to be a ranger on television. like age, size, that's not maybe a side character, but like, so that was already cool to be able to be like, okay, well now in this format I can be one. And then I think sort of again, Melissa, I talked about it a couple of times, it's like, I really played it from what if a fan of Power Rangers became a Power Ranger. And so like that was just such a fun experience for me to have, to like play the role of like being so excited to be in this, play the role of like meeting other Rangers and they're like your idols and you like know all this stuff about them, and just trying to be the absolute best that you can be at this job, you know, and this role, because it's something that you just always wanted. Like it's always like when you want something and then you get it, it's like exciting and also nervous. Because it's like you love it, but also you don't want to mess up and screw up. So that was a very fun experience. To be able to do something, this is like I said, for me, this is the closest I'm ever going to be a ranger, and to like being at that moment for a franchise that I really love, and to do it with such wonderful people. Like I've known Meghan for a long time, but like that is where we bonded. Like that, that's where we became like, oh my god. So that was great. Like, well, I remember the first time I came to Morphicon and seeing you, and be like, God, it's cool. And now to be able to talk to you and be friends with you, like that's just a cool experience. So being a part of that whole world, and then having, you know, obviously people, everyone watching it and enjoying it and making cosplay, and it's just like, it's so cool. It's really cool. So appreciate it.
I mean, for me, it was wild, but also like they said, it's taking control of the characters. It's a scary thing.
Yeah.
On Ninja Steel, I could like hide behind the writers. Like, if something was wrong with the press, and I'm like, you know, I was just doing my job. With Carbon, it's like woof, you know, like if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. So it was nice. It was really, really nice. It's just like hanging out with friends. Yeah.
You know, most role-playing games use the full complement of dice, right? And we were kind of based on a kind of shadowing system using D6, right? I hate D6 now. I lost so many rolls, and I was like,
There was a set of good dice, and I always enjoyed it.
Yeah, the first week they brought these dice, and then we saw them, it was like the lightning bolt was a 6, and we were just like, oh my god, these are the best die ever. But like 4 weeks before, we're like, these are regular dice. So,
yeah, because you wouldn't roll them, and they would just go,
that lightning bolt was like,
For you guys, and like test them all out. Like, yeah, this is a good one. Yeah.
and that's what's the coolest thing about this. The thing about Power Rangers is that you can set up like your sword coming down, you can have the explosion coming back, and like everything's just perfect on television. Us, we would have this whole like, I'm going in, I'm flipping over, jumping, I slash my sword, I missed it.
But it did say, it was really interesting because we had two very experienced RPGers. We had Polly and we had Peter, and then we had 3 pretty inexperienced RPGers. And
You guys brought so much flavor
yeah,
into
and it
the
was
game.
so much fun because you had the guys that knew how to role play, and then you had the 3 that were figuring it out. And because they were figuring it out, they didn't know the rules, which meant there was so much chaos and fun that came with it.
And it works so well for like the characters too, because like Mark and Jack were technically the 2 long abiding citizens.
Yeah.
We were the part of the forest, so it's like we were all like getting carried away with it, and the chaos just took the story. You know?
I remember how many times poor Polly was like, guys, we have to get back on mission. What the burritos?
Like Christina and I, I'm like, what kind of, what, do you want cotton candy in your burrito? And he's like, yeah.
We had like a whole room full of burritos at one point.
Yeah.
You guys got to play with some of the franchise's all-time greats. To name a few, Jason and Frank and Ashley, just Kevin, Eric, Sandy, I'm not going to ask you to name favorites because most of them are here and I don't want to get in trouble.
I'm going to say here Ashley because if I don't, she'll probably get me like that.
Were there any of those experiences that really like stick out in your memory?
Karen Ashley, for sure. A big Yellow Ranger fan, so, you know, to meet her. And she's the sweetest. She's so sweet. She follows me on Instagram, comments occasionally, and will send me messages. And she's just like such a kind, warm person who is just consistently good. I love her. Aaron Kimball was really cool too.
Yeah. It was cool having Camarena as well, because I feel like having him on there were just some things. Well, I said this for all of them, but I particularly, he's coming to mind, just like being able to see Rangers do things with their characters that maybe couldn't be written or weren't written into the show, and seeing that experience happen within the context of HyperForce.
My favorite guest was Jason David Frank. But not for the reason you might think. So he was on the show, first time, we're seated next to each other, the show begins, the music is rolling. He passes me a note, and I look at it underneath the table and it says, "How do I do this?" I still have that note.
Yeah, I will say, I really am so thankful to every one of those cast members that showed up, because they are scripted actors. That is a completely different muscle than improv. And allowing having the trust in us to come on board and be like, there is no script, here's just some stuff to say, good luck. Like, I remember Erin was the very first one, and she just showed up, like, we talked about it, and she's like, yeah, sure, okay, that sounds really fun. She wasn't able to do the New Zealand stuff because she's union, and so she was excited to do something. And so she came on, and I was like, you're going to be our mentor, it's going to be great. She's like, great, where's the script? I'm like, there is no script. Here's an outline, and she worked on it with Malika, and then afterwards, she came up to me, I'm like, thank you so much, how'd it go? Like, do you have any feedback? So we're having other asks. She's like, better prepare them next time. She's the sweetest. Like, they're, honestly, every single one of them, Mike Jin was hilarious.
Oh my God.
We were just so lucky to have every single one of them.
Mikey definitely brought a degree of levity, and he brought his character so cleanly and so wholly. It was really refreshing. Because we were all wrapped up in our own psychoses collectively.
Yeah, I would also, I guess, I would say probably actually. Yeah, first time like coming into set and being like, whoa, I'm gonna be on a team with this guy that I used to watch on TV. You know, but I gotta say all of them. Because even like with Cameron and everybody, it's like tying all of it in, it just makes it more real.
My favorite was Sandy.
Yeah.
So let's talk about timeline. You guys got to do a whirlwind tour of the Power Rangers timeline. Obviously, some of you to different degrees have different levels of knowledge about the history of the show. What was it like being let loose onto all of Power Rangers history?
It's like a virtual Power Ranger Disneyland.
But so dangerous too. So dangerous. Because you make the wrong step and you just like blown the whole beat for a season that's already passed and that cannot be changed. You know?
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, you really get to realize how real your childhood is to you. It's like all these things that you've watched collectively, and then being able to step into this room and interact with everything that you've seen, like talking to Doggy Kruger and arguing with him, it's just...
Y'all argue.
Oh my God, that is so...
Let's go to meetings.
That was so wrong. Did you get in trouble there?
I did. I got in so much trouble.
We did not get in trouble, we just said go to break because Peter's not stopping.
We did get in trouble.
But it was exciting, it's like living in that world is it is unreal. Just being able to interact with the things that you've seen and imagined and dreamed about for so long.
The most exciting part of the experience for me overall was watching your attention balloon and grow, and then get alt press, and then get press, and blow up even more. And we felt your eyes and ears on us. We felt like we were Elvis. Every time the show was getting ready, we were jacked up totally, absolutely. But your participation and your eyes and ears really kind of made us feel like we had gravity.
Yeah, and I think it was also cool because I think it came at a very good time with Power Rangers the franchise as a whole, because between HyperForce, the Boom Comics, and the 2017 movie, I feel like the combination was like making Power Rangers content for for an older audience. I mean, it's a show that everyone in any age can love, but it has been a show that's usually on kids networks and stuff like that. So I think it was nice to see these various elements, and that's what I remember even doing talking to people who watched it, like this book was like they introduced the show to people who weren't even really big in the Power Rangers, but they liked our role-playing games and saw something interesting in that. And I thought that was kind of fascinating as well.
I've had people come up and tell me that they discovered HyperForce during quarantine, and that it made them feel less alone. And so I think the fact that it's been 5 years and people are still discovering that you're here at all, that we're talking to you, I think shows how much of an impact the show made, and we're just so grateful for it.
Speaking of the time at which it came, you guys also got to participate in a crossover that was happening at the same time. There's a 2-part Shattered Grid episode, and then the characters got to appear in the comics.
Chloe was just in a recent comic.
Yeah,
The pink and all pink.
And there's a Power Rangers Universe cover that has a bunch of Blue Rangers and HyperForce.
One of the few examples of actual brand management in this franchise.
How much passion your guys' love puts into it. Seriously, this is all because you guys came and watched it. If we did first episode and nobody watched, we wouldn't be able to be here.
Can I legitimately tell you that I've been told that those covers were just Dan Moore, the artist, drawing his favorite Power Rangers, and he loves you guys so much. What was it like getting to be, not in a crossover, but also in a crossover?
I grew up with 4 brothers, and reading comics was like is a boy thing. There's a lot of my brothers are so stupid. My brothers can be like that sometimes, hey, you're a girl, you can't do that. But I was like the bravest out of all of them. I skateboarded, I did all the cool things. But as an adult, I started getting into comics, and I was like, damn, it would be so cool to be in a comic someday, let alone write one. And that was the start of what I'm doing now. Because Kyle, he asked me to come on for Radiant Peak, but being a part of that crossover, it became real for me. It became less of a pipeline dream and more of if I can do this as a ranger, maybe I can do this as myself.
Yeah.
The comics is really cool, and I think that the fact that they're in the game, the tabletop game is really cool. Because I remember when I was a kid, I actually bought a poster board, and I don't know if you remember this, but there used to be these really tiny civilian ranger figures back in the day. But yeah, so I had those and then made a little board game with them. so it was just neat to have full circle see the HyperForce Rangers were actually an expansion pack for the board game. I thought it was really cool. Yeah, they have all the powers and moves and everything, and the little figures. It's that's awesome.
I didn't even realize it was crossover. Really sad, because when we were doing it, we were just having guests in and out,
Well, it was one of those things where we were doing Shattered Grid at the same time, and what I really wanted to, I was always looking for opportunities for synergy, and that was a perfect opportunity. So having Kyle, and then I know that Jason David Frank was always interested in playing Draken, so I'm like, what if we have Kyle one week and Draken the next? And thankfully Boom was so supportive, and that turned into the Boom cover, and then it turned into Boom. And it was just so much fun, and Boom continues to be so supportive of HyperForce, and it really means a lot. But it was such a special moment, I think, to take those 2 events and just elevate them to something really fun and do something a little different. Zach was the GM that day. So Malika joined us at the table, and it was just such a different experience that I think it was a lot different enough for HyperForce that I think it really just made it a special.
Yeah, other than that short, that's the only live action Draken we've had, right? In HyperForce. So yeah, that's really cool. For now.
Peter, I want to ask you, obviously, wish you could be here today, but you got to be a Power Ranger with your brother. What was that?
It's a blessing. It's not something that I can. I wake up every day and I'm what did I do to deserve that? So it's plus that I got to be able to do that twice. Yeah, so it's really nice.
The HyperForce cast, as you said, has continued to appear. It showed up in comics, they're in the board game, they're in the video game. How does it feel, especially for Andre and Meghan who work outside of Power Rangers before this, to be a permanent part of the Power Rangers legacy?
Unreal. I grew up very poor. I didn't think I would live past 18. I grew up in a very abusive household. I really didn't have much to look forward to. And Power Rangers, I wore the same costume, the same Yellow Ranger costume, up until it ripped and didn't fit me anymore. I would walk around with holes in my shoes because my family couldn't afford them. And Power Rangers was the dream. And it was something I let go of as I got older. Obviously, my mental health has improved significantly, and I've made it all the way to 35. Never in a million years would I have ever thought I could tell my younger self she pissed that I'm a Pink Ranger.
I think she'd understand.
You don't know little baby. She's fiery. But it never does a day go by where I don't feel extremely grateful to be a part of this fandom and universe, because it was the dream, it was the big dream. What do you want to be when you grow up? A Power Ranger, and it happened.
For me, Rangers is like the CIA. You try to get out, and it ain't happening. They need you when they get back.
But I feel like with all that, everybody brings so much into the Ranger family too. I have people coming into it dude, I didn't even know about Power Rangers or any of this stuff until Black Mirror or even Strawberry 17, and it's no, seriously. And that kind of stuff is these are things that we forget, that these human beings, we bring something to the table always, no matter what, and it's it's just nice to show that as Rangers too,
Yeah, it's a cool thing to be a part of. I mean, it's interesting to me because I definitely appreciate this way that I got to be a Power Ranger, but at the same time, I obviously know all the hard work and everything it takes to be a Power Ranger, like a television series or a movie. And so I know that Power Rangers is one of those franchises where we're seeing it a lot more now, but I know for a while it has been a very specific thing. So I know even when this first started, it was what? How does this work? What does it take? What is an RPG? Or how's Power Rangers an RPG? Is it canon? Is it this? Is that? And so I think it's just interesting to be a part of it in this way, because I think it just helps with the franchise as a whole to see Power Rangers is one of those things that we can have in so many different formats, and it has all the elements that some of those other very popular franchises had that get to expand around. And it's just nice to be able to see Power Rangers do that. And so the more of that we can get in the future, that I think that would be great, because I like the idea that we can have an RPG, a board game, a card game, a G-rated movie, a PG-13 rated movie, a comic, and hit different audiences, because it's been around 30 years, man. It's been 30 years. This is legit.
I put out a call on Twitter for questions a couple of days ago, and I think unsurprisingly, overwhelmingly, people want to know about will there be a season 2, etc. Let's just say, did you have thoughts about a second season? Did you know where you wanted your characters to go? Had you guys talked about anything? What can you say about what might have happened?
Yeah, I was talking to Melissa about Chloe's arc, because at the end, it's been a long time, she finds her dad, and he sees the baddie bad, which is heartbreaking.
But also main cliffhanger.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
I will say, we really truly thought we were going to get a second season. It was just bad timing. We were told that we could get a second season. If we had not known that, we wouldn't have ended up with it. But it was just bad timing. We got that bad Hasbro right when the renewal happened, and we just changed things. But I'm still very proud of the season we had, and still very curious to see what you guys would want to do this season.
Chloe was gonna go bad. She was gonna be a baddie bad. I
these people?
You would
Or
not
just
have
know
to
that-
No, Chloe!
I
Kill everyone.
Chloe's world got shattered. I think she was gonna go to the other side. I think if sacrifices needed to be made, especially with her power, having the battleizer, I think she was gonna go to that side of herself because her mom was so good and her dad is this like horrible person. I think she was questioning who she was and where her home was too. So I kind of wanted to explore how dark could go with that character because she's broken in the end. Everything that she was fighting for, like her family disappeared and then she finds them and they're the reason why so many people have like passed and her friends have gotten hurt. There was a lot of guilt. Yeah, pulling all the strings, there was a lot of guilt riding on Chloe, so we were in season 2 I really wanted to explore that dark side of her, which would have been really heartbreaking. But I mean, I kind of love when a really good wholesome character goes to that dark side of himself because it's real.
I was hoping for a second season for sure, but also it's kind of nice too because it's like it's open-ended. We might go into an animated series, man. It's like who knows? We might go into
Not that
That's
it's
why
all
we're not going anymore, so.
yeah, it's
Jack D. Thomas brought to you by Space. Can you breathe? Roll cameras quickly!
We talked earlier about some of the amazing guest stars you got to play with. Hypothetical season 2, who would you have liked to bring on?
I would really try, if I could have, I would have tried to, could have swung it and get David Fielding on, because he is an experienced RPGer, and as Zordon, I think it would have been really fun and special.
oh my gosh, yes, and exploring that whole like universe with like the origin and all that
So
stuff.
it's sick.
I'd like to see some of the villains, some of the classic villains come in and have the voice actors like get the chance to do their thing.
Yeah.
Because there's such a pantheon of cheese there. I mean, you know, Goldar's pretty badass, but you know, come on, the Pudgy Pig.
I don't know why, but I'm imagining Eddie would have an adventure with all the like side characters, like Eddie with Broken Skull, Victor and Monty, and just some weird side quests.
I would love to see that. Like little comics even.
Yeah.
Anyone, Megan?
Wow.
Who would play your dad?
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Oh no. It's like burrito o'clock right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, my stomach scrambled, so I'm drawing a blank, sorry.
Melissa, you are taking the reins of Boo's Power Rangers comics in October. I'm not asking for spoilers. I'm not asking for anything. Is there a chance a HyperForce, just a nod, could show up at some point?
Absolutely. I freaking love HyperForce. It's in my blood, and it's something I love dearly. So
We're time traveling.
Say it all. Again, the final say is always Hasbro. But when I say it all, yes, you will see at least some measure of HyperForce.
Cool. Here's the
We have another 10 minutes or so. Do folks have questions? We do some questions?
Yes, this man has no blood in his right arm.
We start there and then go around.
What were some of your like favorite moments or favorite moments like on the show?
JDF. Yeah, the fact that he came into it, he didn't know what he was doing, so he was actually playing himself, but it worked perfectly because that's what Dragon is. Dragon is a guy from another universe coming in and wrecking face in this universe. So it was really fun to see him just love this.
You know, the one I actually go back to and watch all the time is it's not a big event. It's literally them going back for Joe's wedding. It's just so far fun. Like everybody was just having such a blast. It was friggin' hilarious, and I think that was my favorite one.
I like the moment Chloe had with Jack. When we were like in the offices or like the police station. Yeah. Or like back and forth. That was like Chloe didn't really get too many moments with Jack, and I felt like that one meant a lot.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
squealing in front of Dr. Schrier was always really fun. That was literally just what happened so far, just yelling it all out, so that was really fun. But yeah, and then all the interactions with the guests, and I was like, when we just went back in time, that was like when it was like medieval times, where like I remember and just that little bit was just like a nice little cool different thing that was just unique to HyperForce.
What was the character? What's the girl's name? Guinevere.
I
Yeah.
forget the name of the actress.
That was
She was
fun.
amazing.
Yeah, that was.
Let's go. Actually, no, why don't we just do a line? Does that work for folks? Yeah.
Alright.
Let's start here. Yep.
For Andre,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, no, right. It was about the.
No problem, bro.
You got it, man.
We have a HyperForce Ranger himself here.
So, going back to the
I mean, what I will say is the arc is pretty packed right now, so I probably want to focus more on like the TV Rangers and the comic Rangers, but you never know. I really love them. If I could get a Santa Ranger in there, I'll try.
Oh my gosh, Santa's power would be awesome. Hey, man, hey. Thank you for your question. Yeah, well, I mean, Eddie Messner, that whole arc was just very funny. It was like, obviously he had a crush on her, and she tried to kill him at one point. All that, man.
Relationships go.
Then all the things happened. She went away at one point, but then came back. So yeah, no, I think it's just, when you care about someone and something like that happens to them, obviously it's just sad thing. So yeah, I think it was just, that's what's so fun about doing this is like, I almost just even forget that I'm there at times and just really play into the part of Eddie and kind of stay in character. And so it was just sort of a natural reaction, obviously. Not only, it wasn't even so much about the character we had a crush on, but it's like just the fact that this is our teammate, this is our friend. And even that was really nice as well. It's just that Eddie Messner kind of, which I think was kind of a good statement of like, look, even though nothing happened as far as romantically, they were still friends, and that you can have that relationship as well. It's also just as important, just as well. So I think just to have that happen, is really strong. So.
Good question.
Yeah, very good question. And blue for blue. You got that?
I'm so impressed. So many.
Yeah.
So
Not
good.
always.
Yeah, that could have gone anywhere.
That's the name of the game.
Chance.
Yeah.
But, and that's also why I say, like, a big thank you to people who supported it, because you guys actually helped us to survive a lot of those times. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
We needed those supers, so. Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Amen.
We got a burrito for you, honey.
I think any animation doing HyperForce would be great. I thought you were going to ask me, will HyperForce ever cross over Ninja Turtles which would be amazing. That would be my dream come true. No, I totally think an animated, I mean, I have no power, but I think an animated version of HyperForce, if you want to see continuation, or even just a one-shot comic, or just anything like that, just to have, because I think if anything, it would just be nice to have, even if you just had that one more story, just kind of wrap things up since we did it on the cliffhanger, but whatever form is it, but yeah, the HyperForce cartoon, shoot, I mean, you do 80s cartoon style, the theme song and everything. Talking dog and all that. So yeah, man. Do I? Oh yeah, we did. Yeah,
I mean, like, maybe get 80s of fun.
Yeah. It has to have a little bit of magazine that describe you, so that kids know who the
Oh, it's great. See, if you haven't seen the movie on Netflix, the Rise of TNT movie on Netflix is amazing. Sorry, am I allowed to talk about the Turtles here?
I don't know if it has one anymore, you can say whatever you want.
Hey, crossed over. The Turtles Power Rangers crossed over.
How do you play those characters, live as those characters? What's the one thing that those characters have taught you while you're playing? What have you learned about yourself as a character? Also, so it's great character play that you gain, that you use that.
Don't use metal dice.
All the way the dice in your
Or go early and get the good dice.
Oh, very done. The life lessons actually. I think it's for me. It was just that like your actions matter more than they think. You know, more than like you might think. Yeah, it's like people are watching. Yeah, and everything matters. And the role playing aspect of it really showed me is like you do one thing wrong, you see how it plays out. And it's like you don't say that one person, something else happens. So yeah.
Mine was just being, it helped contribute to my coming out. So.
I think for me it helped with, I think for me it helped with understanding that particularly for Power Rangers, but just in general, that fandom is a different thing than all. I think that sometimes, you know, like, even with as much I know, there's people that obviously know way more about Power Rangers than I do, but I think that when you see something that's been going around as long and has so many iterations, it can feel overwhelming to be like, well, am I a fan if I've only seen this season, or am I a fan if I can't go this? If you're a fan, you're a fan. You know? I think that that's on the fandom of Power Rangers, anything else. The way you enjoy it, whether you're cosplaying, you watch all the seasons, one of the seasons, you bought a t-shirt at Hot Topic, whatever happens, man, you did it.
Guys, I'm so sorry. We are going to have to call time there. Everyone is going to be around the convention for the rest of the day, so if you have questions, come and find them. I'm really sorry about that.
Hey, thanks for watching. We always see you again.
For the class of Power Rangers. And have a great weekend.
Nice Tom off and do.
Definitely take the time to serve guests at their tables. We'll be back signing autographs, taking pictures. Definitely spend some time going to say hi. We'll be there.
Back to action.